Hello, Gelato Familia. I'm George the Disney Italiano coming to you with another live. And I thought, what the heck? Why not? Celebrated 10,000 subscribers, but then eventually turned into 11,000 subscribers. And then wake up today, hit 12,000 subscribers. I'm like, it's as crazy as my hair. So I thought, you know what, let's just do a live just for fun, just because. And that's just how I am. I'm very spontaneous and what have you. And I got my good friend here, Mr. Theme Park Conductor, joining me today. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. And I want to give a big shout out to George and his fairly new channel, Hollow Gelato, where he does such amazing content, not just in the theme parks, not just doing live streams from his home office where you see him and his wacky hair, but on location, whether it's at restaurants doing a food review or, just hanging out at the parks. Such an awesome friend and a great content creator. I encourage everybody to go check out Hollow Gelato. And I think, George, you were just telling me a few minutes ago you uploaded a bunch of new content to the channel. So I encourage everyone to go check that out.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much. And actually, I'm going to return the favor here. Also, check this guy out. He does amazing content. I always love, spending time having what I like to call our theme park conversation marathons, because that's essentially what they are. Because this guy actually, from the content that we covered for Destination D23, is essentially what spiked my channel into hyperdrive. So but yeah, as Giant Peter Adventure, George's shorts, basically that's what I uploaded. I uploaded a bunch of shorts and they're doing very well. But yeah, apparently it's just a bunch of shorts about my shorts, essentially. Oh, and of course, I mean, you never know. The bidets might come into factor there.
Exactly.
Yeah. And conductor's like, just move it along. Like, I don't care. But I also have to say too, folks, just to let you know, I'm not being lazy. I'm trying some different stuff out with my hair. So I'm literally growing it out so I can have that Fabio look. So I could just wet it and then just come up and do the aerial hair, So
oh, boy.
So yeah, just so you know, so I am growing my hair out and I want to see how long I can last.
There you go.
So, and then who knows? Maybe I'll add the beard to it, and I'll just look like one of the apostles. I don't know. So, but in any case, conductor, if you want to let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Absolutely. So you can find me on YouTube and Blue Sky at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on Instagram at theme_park_conductor. You can find me on TikTok at Theme Park Conductor 1. You can also find me every Sunday at 5 or 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Conductor Sunday live stream Off the Rails, which shout out to Jared for adding that last part. I love that last part. But where we talk everything from Universal, Disney, the Halloween season, up and coming Christmas season. We have wonderful guests like the one and only spicy but mild sometimes George from Hollow Gelato, Orange Go 55 with his wacky, crazy, spiky hair, Tommy Toon World with his world famous food reviews, and so many others, and Jared, our East Coast correspondent. So come join us. It's a bunch of fun, and we kind of do go off the rails a little bit, so it's a lot of fun.
We definitely go off the rails. I don't know if it's a little bit, but we definitely go off the rails.
Yep.
And then we also have Christian Sanchez in the house saying happy Halloween to everyone. Happy Halloween to you, Christian. Thank you for joining us. And then also too, but Remy D, number two in the house. And I'm essentially thinking that OG was number 1. That's why he said number 2. And if you have to go number 2, go to Conductor for the bidets, folks. So
oh, there we go. Oh man.
So I thought we'd kind of kick it off. Conductor and I were actually talking a little bit before we actually started the live about I'm going to share my screen here, and this is courtesy of, let me see, where am I here? There we go. Courtesy of Screen Time, Warner Brothers has rejected a third bid from Paramount to buy the company. Apparently, coming from the sources, David Zaslav was offered co-CEO, which I don't know why, and offered 80% of the bid in cash. Yeah, me personally, I would rather, and I don't mean to be rude about it, but I wouldn't want Zaslav any part of this deal. I mean, he's the fact that Warner is in the mess that they're in now, you know.
Oh, 100%.
But the fact that Paramount put in 3 bids, like they are irking, like they're really showing their hand that they want Warner really bad. And it's kind of sad in a way because it's really showing them to be very vulnerable. And Warner's just not biting. And recently, Conductor, you were again telling me before we did the live that Netflix, which a lot of people were saying that was going to be part of the bidding race, they recently stated that they really have no interest in Warner, which I think that's very interesting.
Well, see, it's interesting. Like you started off with Paramount, third time denial. Then Netflix coming out stating what they stated they're not interested. Which this is looking absolutely amazing for Comcast. But we still have other contenders. We still have Apple that may or may not be interested. We might have Amazon. There's other companies, but the way I'm looking at it currently right now, and I'm not saying Disney would, but maybe as a laughing joke, they might throw a bid in. I don't think they would ever get it, but just as a joke, I think they might throw a bid in. But Comcast at this point is looking very, very good to acquire Warner Brothers. And I really honestly don't think that Comcast is going to miss that opportunity. I think, and George makes a good point. Again, we were talking right before the live stream, was the mere fact that Comcast is kind of just taking a back seat, letting all these other companies kind of throw a bid in, see where it's at, and, eventually come in for a sneak attack and throw a bid in, and probably Warner Brothers might take it. The fact that you got Paramount, who has now tried 3 times and basically struck out, and is not getting it. Netflix isn't interested in, like we just a comment was just on the screen. Amazon, Apple, and Comcast. Those are the 3. I don't think Apple, because Apple makes a lot of original content. They're going more towards what Netflix is doing. So it's, in my point of view, it's really between Amazon and Comcast. But who's going to be the bigger contender? I think Comcast, because we've all talked about it on each other's channels, multiple times. I think Comcast would be the best, because it would unlock such a big future, not only just for, streaming services, but the theme parks will get a ginormous boost and an open book of IP they can include into their park. And we've all talked about it. When you look at Disney or you look at, Universal, obviously Universal is more edgy, so they can kind of get away with a lot more than what Disney can when they, throw a statement online, or, they do something in the park that people might kind of like, I don't think so. Universal kind of has a longer leash. So in reality, I think Comcast is going to take this one.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, this is interesting too, if you really think of it. Netflix wouldn't do theatrical releases except for special occasions. And maybe that's why Netflix really has no interest in it, because they know, in comparison to the other companies, where I mean you can kind of say for Amazon and Apple as well, but I think Netflix is more of a streaming division, where I feel like that it would handicap Warner Brothers in a way to not be able to produce anything theatrical. And that's where Universal would really come into play. And Yeah, see, they agree with that. Universal and Warner Brothers are right next to each other, literally. If they end up purchasing it, we can go zip lining, like literally from the hilltops and go right down to
Well,
Warner Brothers. But I mean, we've all talked about it, on our streams and videos and stuff,
sure.
that they could literally use the Warner Brothers lot as like offloading backstage holding areas, and that would alleviate more for Universal as the theme park, because that's really where you can have both and really have the best of both worlds. You can literally have Universal Park as the theme park and Warner Brothers Studios as the studio where you can do all the tours and stuff.
Well, definitely. And what I think about it too, by Comcast and acquiring Warner Brothers, think about it for a second. Just for the theme park aspect, HHN, there's a lot of IP you can incorporate that Warner Brothers already has the rights to. Then you got, Universal not having to pay royalties to Warner Brothers for owning Harry Potter. Then you got FanFest, what they could do with that, which already is a big hit. And they already announced the 2026 event with tickets already on sale, which people already bought that. Then you got Disney, who just recently announced, maybe about 6-8 months ago, maybe my timeline's a little wrong, that they were building a Disney park in Abu Dhabi. And think about it. What's in Abu Dhabi that already sits there? A Warner Brothers theme park. And if Universal acquires it, boom, there you go. So now Universal already has boots on the ground. They can already work with a park that's already there, updated, and it's just overall, I think Comcast would be the best option, and I don't think Warner Brothers at this point would deny Comcast. Now, again, we never know what's going to happen, but the fact that they're next door neighbors is genius.
It's the perfect opportunity. It really is. And now to what Theme Park Wizard is saying, it's between Paramount, Comcast, and Netflix. So, I mean, there is still a possibility where maybe Netflix is basically maybe doing a fib, a bluff, to where, that they're making it look like they're not interested.
Sure.
And then eventually they come in for the kill, so to speak. But also too, yeah, I mean, Amazon, I don't know. I still think Amazon and Apple still might have a play in, because we didn't really hear from either one of them. But really quick, folks, we got a little knock at the door here. Let's see. We should answer the door and see who it is.
Hello.
There we go.
How's it going?
How's it going? George, your hair is huge. Every time I see you, you have a different look.
I know. I'm so glad I actually brought it up to the chat and everybody. I'm actually trying to grow it out because I want that Fabio look. So if I get my hair wet, I could just pop out of the water and do my aerial and just like.
Good.
Listen, it's always versatile. I like it. The only thing I can do, when I shave my head, I can either grow my beard really long or just have a mustache. And I already grew it long, and it kind of became a nuisance. Like when we first moved to Florida, it was like, what was it, like Duck Dynasty level?
Oh,
and my wife was just like, no, get rid of that. And I was like, okay.
But I was mentioning to Conductor and everything, like maybe I'll just let the beard go with the hair, and I'll look like one of the apostles.
Dude, do the Johnny Damon look back in the day when he was on the Red Sox.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Dude, he looked awesome. You'd see him out there just hair flowing, stealing bases.
Put me on a poster of the Got Milk, just like the milk. Right?
Listen, it's endless possibilities here. I mean, you're going to redo your image, so you got to make the long hair. You have to change stuff up a little bit. But
yeah, that is true, and I think that's probably why too. With my hair, I've had it short for like my whole life, and I'm like, you know what? Like I'm revamping everything else in my life. I might as well do the hair.
I did that in my 20s. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let it grow. And I realized when my hair grew out, it was kind of wavy. But when my hair was wet, it would be like past my nose. But I had to when it wasn't, it would just like bunch up a bunch. But it wasn't a great look. I was just like, I did it for like 6 months and I just got rid of it after that.
There you go.
Gotcha. So, Jared, you came in at a good time because we're only on the first topic of the live, but we were talking about how Warner Brothers denied for the third time of Paramount to put in a bid to take over the company, and Netflix saying that, they don't really show any interest, but could there be a possibility that they're bluffing? Is Amazon and Apple still in the in the race? Because I mean, no one's really heard anything from them. But what's your take on it?
I think Netflix wording is interesting because it says little interest in acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery. That doesn't mean they're not interested in the IP catalog that they have. I don't know. I feel like this is like behind the scenes, like the shows from Silicon Valley where you've got these people, like all this stuff's going on behind the scenes that we can't see. But I agree. I think Netflix has always been one that's rumored about it. Apple also makes a lot of sense. They have a ton of money and they want to do more stuff. At this point, it seems to me also, isn't Zaslav wanting like $30 a share or something like that? Like he's wanting quite a bit for Warner Brothers. I'm rooting for Comcast. I'm curious if they have any sort of preference in selling, because like the studios, at least necessarily like traditional ones, don't necessarily like Netflix a lot, considering they're kind of disrupting the whole business as it is. So I wonder if they would be much more likely to sell to a Paramount or Comcast over, say, Warner or Netflix and Amazon or Apple, those type of companies. But I'm rooting for Comcast. I think that would be great. I think if you're Comcast, the risk of your Harry Potter stuff falling in the hands of a competitor and you don't know where that would lie. Now, I don't know where that goes with the contracts and stuff, but I think that they would probably do everything they could at this opportunity to grab it if they can.
Well, and speaking that you mentioned, Remy D is asking, does Universal own the rights to Harry Potter in the parks that's
a good question.
I can never say that word, so someone else can
Perpetuity.
say. Thank you. Yeah, I can never say that word, so I'm not even going to attempt to even say it. I get tongue-tied every time.
So as far as I know, Warner Brothers and J.K. Rowling have the rights. Universal's just leasing out that IP. Now, if Comcast acquires Warner Brothers, they will still pay royalties, but it won't be the WB because obviously they'll own them, but it will still go to J.K. Rowling. But on the other hand, my question to that question is, if it does go that route, how much more I'm going to use this word, it's not the word I'm looking for, but how much more ammunition will they have against J.K. Rowling about developing more in the parks without, her say so? Obviously, she's going to have a say so, but, instead of going through Warner Brothers to go through her, now they're going to be dealing with just J.K. Rowling without the third person. So it's just a back and forth. So what type of content could we see from the HBO series that could possibly be even better than what Warner Brothers is creating with HBO Max? Or, what more can be implemented into the park? Like, for example, we've all talked about it, but me and George and OG and even Tommy Toon World, which we're all gonna meet up this weekend, has said why, like, for example, Universal Orlando has the Death Eaters, okay? And that's kind of controversial during HHN because, some people don't like them. Most people do because it just adds to the aesthetic, but we didn't get it out here in Hollywood. So I'm kind of wondering how that's going to work. That's what I'm curious about.
What's up, Peter? To answer the question, I looked up real quick on ChatGPT, and you bring up good points there, Conductor. They said the publicly available information suggests that Universal Destinations and Experiences license with Harry Potter originally included a term ending June 30th, 2029. Because the contract likely has renewal options and may not have been updated, the 2029 date might not be the final expiration. So it could be 2029, but again, it may not be.
I think it's interesting, like, of how all these things are like intertwining with each other. Like, even with Wizard saying, no matter what, the Universal backlot's going to get eaten up with the merger or not. And I mean, we really don't mean that in a bad way, because
No.
I'll just leave it at that. But because even like with Universal, like making all these changes with like adding, speaking just of like Universal Hollywood, like 6 new attractions, rerouting everything. So I mean, they have big plans that it seems like it would fall into the category if they were to purchase Warner. But as I think I asked this question before, and I'm going to ask again, because was it before all this happened that there was a time that Universal did put in a bid to purchase Warner and they turned them down?
I believe, I'm going to double check. I think they did at one point. I'll look it up real quick.
I don't know if they did it once or they did it multiple times, but this is a clear indication. I don't know about the last time as well, like if Paramount kind of went the same route where they threw in multiple bids, or other companies, but it's funny to me that Paramount now has been denied 3 times. Netflix is publicly coming out and saying, well, we don't really have interest in it. So they're kind of like in between. They don't even know. Then you got Apple, Amazon, and who is that other company? Apple, Amazon, and then Comcast. They're kind of just not saying anything. They're kind of just waiting.
I think the ones that they had as the list, it was Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Universal. Was that it? Was there 4 of them?
I think so.
Let me see.
What, at the time or now?
By the way, I looked it up. There's nothing I can find that has any legitimate rumors about Comcast making an offer. It says
they did.
It says possibly, like, rumor wise, in 2014.
That might have been,
but I don't think there's anything technically official as an offer. But that's one of the rumor things, was like around that time period they may have like made some sort of offer.
Yeah, that almost sounds about right, because wasn't 2014 right around that time when Harry Potter opened in Hollywood? Was 2014 or somewhere super close to that?
I know 2014 Diagon Alley opened in Orlando.
Okay. Yeah, 2010 was Hogsmeade, 2014 was Diagon Alley. So you guys might have gotten it around that time period.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
So yeah, Culture Crave was saying Apple, Amazon, Netflix, NBC Universal, and Paramount. Those were the 5.
I think Warner Brothers is just trying to have a bidding war. I guess really, if they're wanting $30 a share, that's their only shot at getting that, is if they just get, they start trying to one up each other.
Yeah. Yeah, $26 off 2 years, but still. Okay. But
I mean, yeah, it's very much a possibility. I'm very curious to see where this goes. One way or the other, I can see somebody making this historic purchase of Warner Brothers. It's just the fact of which company is it going to be.
Well, they've been setting this up for years. I mean, ever since Zaslav came on. I mean, they've essentially been getting the company ready to be sold. Even setting up that other, they rolled off their other assets into a separate company. Now, what would be interesting is if they do this on the whole thing, or do they just do the IPs? I think that would be the interesting, because you may not have the companies really interested in like the whole kit and caboodle, but they just want access to the IP library. But are they looking to just move the whole thing? I guess that would probably be the big question there.
That's true. Now, Jared,
Netflix would want the networks. Like, they have no interest in having like an old school network.
Well, now there was I was mentioning to Conductor, because I brought up the post that for the 3rd time with Paramount, I guess part of the deal that they were offering Zaslav co-CEO of that, which I said I don't know why. If Paramount wanted it, because I'm thinking like he's one of the main reasons that Warner is in the dirt right now.
Kinda. He came in though, like they were already in big trouble when Zaslav came in. He's been cutting stuff quite a bit. Like, obviously, I personally don't like the direction of like James Gunn and the DCU at this point. I didn't care for the Superman movie, but a lot of the stuff that came out underneath him was stuff that was in the works. That like they got rid of the Batwoman or Batgirl movie. Like they cut that one, but that one was made way before Zaslav. So a lot of I mean, I don't think Zaslav's great, but a lot of that stuff is him just basically been trying to like. I always looked at him as a hatchet man. Like he was coming in to cut stuff and prep them to be sold, and I think that's basically what he's done. But if anybody was going to do that, that would be Paramount. I feel like they have a ton of money with the Ellisons, and they probably are the most flexible because it's not like they're doing gangbusters either. So they would probably like Comcast isn't going to offer that, but Paramount would be the type of company that could.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wizard tried. They're only there. He's only there to sell that thing off.
Yeah, pretty much. So his position was always going to be temporary at some point. But the way I see it, the post that George had on X with the 5 companies interested in acquiring Warner Brothers, my whole thing is I think Comcast has, even with the 2029, a deal in place, I kind of feel like Comcast has the most to lose because people, when you talk to people at HHN, prime example, there are IPs that Warner Brothers has that they would like to see come to Halloween Horror Nights, because Halloween Horror Nights is one of the biggest generating revenues for Universal, both on the Hollywood and in Orlando. So you got that, and then you got, I kind of feel even after 2029, let's say that Comcast doesn't acquire Warner Brothers, and let's say another company, the other 4 companies, one of them acquire it. I think it would be more detrimental to Hollywood to lose the Harry Potter IP, and even Orlando, because Orlando has a lot of it, but Hollywood is not such a big park. And Hollywood or Harry Potter takes a big footprint on the upper lot. So if they lost that contract, let's say the company that bought Warner Brothers out did not want to renew in 2029, that could be the way of what we're going through with The Simpsons, with Disney owning 21st Century Fox. So I think at this point, it is crucial for Comcast to acquire them.
And this is what I'm so intrigued over. And I'm glad you brought that up, Conductor, because right now, like, all these companies are all like in an intertwined knot with each other.
Yeah.
One person owns this that can't help this company. This person owning this hinders this company. And it's like they're trying to do bids, they're trying to do deals, they're trying to do swaps and stuff. So this is like a very interesting time in like all these companies when you're involving Disney, Universal, Warner Brothers, Netflix, Paramount, Amazon, Apple, like all these companies. This is why I'm so intrigued to know who at the end is gonna get Warner. And to also Jared's point, are they just going to want the IP catalog, not necessarily the whole entire, company? Are they going to eventually get it to where it almost was with Disney during the hostile takeover, where they almost broke up the company into sectors and started selling them off individually? Is that what's going to happen with Warner? Or if it's going to just go as a whole? This is where I'm very curious, because this is going to change the fact of how Warner does their films, does their streaming, their series, and again, even with the theme parks, because again, right now, as far as I know, any little hiccup without Universal really owning the full rights to Harry Potter, to my knowledge, if they wanted them pulled out of the theme parks, they're gone.
Yeah. That's what I mean. And if you look at Hollywood right now, we just have the one land. There is rumors, and has been rumors for years, about a second land being built for Hollywood. Again, rumors, speculation, whatever you want to call it. But when you look at Universal Orlando, and then you look at Epic Universe, where it has Harry Potter in multiple lands and multiple parks, that's why I'm saying if Comcast cannot acquire Warner Brothers for whatever reason, and one of those other 4 companies acquire it, that could be detrimental to Universal for their theme parks, because there's a lot of Harry Potter. It's still relevant. It does generate a lot of money and revenue for the parks. So, and the fact that the HBO series is coming out, it's going to kind of entice people to go to Universal and check out Harry Potter because of this new series. So it's still relevant to this day. So that's what scares me. The mere fact that Comcast possibly not acquiring this. But again, it seems like all these companies, except for really Netflix, that kind of publicly came out and said something. The other four besides Netflix, they're keeping their mouth shut. Why? I don't know. Paramount, to me, Paramount's out. So really, you got three companies.
I don't think Paramount's out.
You don't think so? After the third denial?
I think the Ellison money. I think they'll keep trying because I think it'll be aggressive. By the way, I did the math. If Zaslav is wanting $30 per share, he is valuing Warner Brothers at about $74 billion. So he's putting it right up there with 20th Century Fox.
Wow. Like I could see Paramount. I mean, if they really do try for a fourth or a fifth try, but does that make them look like desperate to the fact of that they're really trying hard, and no matter how that they're being denied, it's kind of showing their hand?
Yeah, possible. It turns out they care. I mean, I think when you're Paramount, and they kind of in many ways are alongside a fresh slate now with the Ellison's running it and everything. They may not care how it looks. If they need to be looking at if we're able to get these IPs, Orange Grove says Ellison can acquire me if they want. Hey, I mean, listen, I'll sell for a couple bill. I mean, we can have a conversation.
There you go.
I think they may just be looking at that and like, we don't care how this looks, and probably also understanding like Paramount's not nothing, but they're also not on the same level as Comcast or Disney or some of these other ones that care more about those optics. They may just be being like, whatever, let's just try and get this. So I don't know. That would be an interesting one though if they do care about that.
See, it's very interesting you mentioned that, Jared, because again, obviously Disney's not part of this list, but Universal is. And one of these other four companies, including Paramount, if they did acquire it, it's kind of like a screw you to Universal that has some of their IPs in their parks.
Which is why I think Universal. Well, and think about it too. Peacock is not doing great. They lost the WWE contract. So out of all the streamers, Peacock's the weakest. If they were able to get Warner Brothers and they get HBO Max, they would all of a sudden pop up there to probably number 3, maybe. I mean, they'd be up there in the streamers if they threw that in with them. So that would transform Peacock on top of everything else it would do for IPs for the movies, IPs for the theme parks. So I guess it just comes down to like, I know Comcast has a lot of debt, but can they finagle $74 billion that Zaslav is wanting for it? That seems crazy. Did they say what Netflix or Paramount's offer was? They haven't listed that, have they?
They haven't listed the actual amount, but I assume that if they went for 3 bids, they had to up the ante each time. So I wonder. So I'm assuming maybe it's not based on the company. Maybe it's based on the price. Maybe those 3 bids are below the 74 billion, if that's really what he's asking for.
Right. I mean, if they did, I think I had heard someone talk about they may have offered $20 a share, which if that's the case, they would have made an offer around $50 billion.
Okay.
So
I just think that's a little. I mean,
although the NBA's in some trouble. Did you see the NBA stuff today?
I did.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that is bad.
Yeah,
that is bad. I used to be really into sports, and it's wild with gambling. But yeah, NBC has NBA, but that's not a good look.
So I'm looking as of. So I typed in, on Google as of June. Comcast's debt approximately is about $101.52 billion as of June. They did recently exchange some type of loan or something, so they got a $750 million loan that matures in January 2037. So again, that was for their cable networks. So I think it's more than possible Comcast could pull it off. I think, when you look at all these other companies, I think Zaslav would probably lean more towards Comcast. The only reason why is, obviously their neighbors. They've seen what Universal has done with not only just their theme parks, but with their movie content. Obviously, Jared, like you said, their streaming service is weak, but everything else they represent is what I consider top-notch quality. Not 100% of the time, but a pretty fair amount. So, if they threw an offer in, I would not be surprised. Maybe the first, maybe the second offer Comcast throws in, I could see them acquiring it. That's what I see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm rooting for Comcast. If Remy D said if it was $24 a share, that means that Paramount also offered almost $60 billion.
Wow.
So if they turned down 60, I mean, maybe he's holding firm on that 70, but
yeah, maybe.
Is it up to Zaslav? I would assume it's up to the shareholders.
Ultimately. The shareholders, that probably Zaslav, the shareholders, and the board.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be up to one person. I can promise you that one.
Yeah, there's probably more that's intertwined with it than just Zaslav. But I mean, he probably has a big take on like what it should be. But I think if they overprice them out, then that will discourage people or the other companies to acquire it.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
so he
like,
really that high because I mean, people were saying like how much that Disney bought out for Fox, and if he's asking for 74, which is $3 billion more than what they got for Fox, I mean that could be a little bit unrealistic.
Yeah,
I mean, I would argue, is the Warner Brothers catalog probably worth more than the Fox catalog that Disney got?
Well, let me type it in and find out.
I mean, just in terms of like what the IPs related to it. I mean, you could probably make an argument that, I mean, he may not be far off in evaluating it around the same price as 20th Century Fox.
So do you both feel like that Comcast did create the co-CEO role to prep for this?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I mean, there was a lot at that time too. It was like the same time where we were hearing rumblings of Disney kind of put those feelers out about the outside or the dual CEO setup, and then all of a sudden Kavanaugh got promoted to co-CEO. I had theorized that maybe somebody made a run at Kavanaugh, and Comcast was like, no, come here. You can be our co-CEO or something like that. But it's possible. I mean, you could have that situation that let Kavanaugh basically handle the WB incoming and Roberts run the day-to-day.
So again, I used Google and I typed it in. It's interesting because it says the music portion. So the public catalog for Warner Brothers is about $1 billion. Then you got, overall, it says Warner Brothers Discovery entire company. It says estimated value is about $45 billion. That is what it's saying it's worth as of today. So the fact that he wants to stick to that 70, I wonder what that other 25, close to 30 billions for.
Well, you would think that if it really was estimated for the 45 billion, he would have taken the 60 billion.
Right.
You would think.
Unless they just don't want to sell to Paramount.
That's a good possibility.
That would be the only thing, because if it really is 45 billion and someone offered an extra 15 billion, then more than what it's worth, and then that would come down that they just don't want Paramount, unless maybe for Universal. I don't know.
I would be curious how much they care about once somebody buys it. What do they have a care about? Like, is it going to be in good hands? Because they could look at the Ellisons as very, even though Paramount is a known commodity, the Ellisons are unknown in terms of what they'll do with it. And maybe they're looking. It's like selling a home. Like, would you rather go to like, oh, I want to sell to a young family because that's what we were, or do you just want the money? I guess that would come into like, how are they looking at the sell? Are they looking at more of a good home for it, or are they just looking to get as much money as they can get?
Well, see, that's why I keep reiterating. I think Comcast would be the best option. That's my
debt would be. I would be curious about the debt though, because like I know it's been brought up before. Like Comcast has a lot of debt. So does Warner Brothers. How do they?
Brian actually posted it. He says Warner Brothers has about 35 billion.
Yeah,
it's the comment above.
Yeah, and Comcast is up there in terms of how much they have too. So that part would be. how do they? I mean, I'm sure they could probably figure out a way to do it, but it's just that's a lot of debt to take on.
It's a lot of debt, but I don't want.
I think the return would be very beneficial.
Yeah, and I think it's like I look at it as like if you're Comcast, it's like we have one shot. Like you're not going to be able to buy Warner Brothers just anytime. You've got a shot at doing it. It's like you might pull out all the stops to try it.
Yeah, take it.
Yeah,
might as well.
Yeah,
I mean they can always sell stuff off too. I mean they could sell some stuff off to I don't know how much that debt is tied up in the TV end and all that other stuff like that, but
I think it comes down to of like really what they want out of it.
Yeah.
Like what do they want to get out of if they were to acquire anything of Warner Brothers? Like what again, the whole pie, or do they just want a couple pieces of it?
Yeah. And you could get into like Warner Brothers real estate. They don't need it, so they could sell some of that to take care of debt. Like, there's obviously things you can do to even though the debt's on the paper, you could technically, once you get it, you could sell stuff, consolidate stuff, like where it may lessen the load.
Absolutely.
What's up, Mademoiselle?
Mademoiselle in the house.
Yes.
Now I want to ask you guys, kind of staying on Universal, because I'm trying to like we'll do like one and then we'll move into the next. So speaking of Universal, it kind of ties into a little bit with Disney, but just on the spectrum of just Universal for right now. So blogmickey.com had posted with everything, again, with all this is going on, because again, all these mergers and acquisitions and everything will eventually tie into the parks. So that they're saying that the 2024, now I want to make it clear, it's 2024 attendance report, modest gains at Walt Disney World, but downturn continues at Universal Orlando. But again, I want to make it very clear that is for the 2024, which obviously was before Epic Universe, which we don't know what the 2025 is until they release it. But I'm wondering, like, was this always a normal thing of like how far along that they make these announcements for like how the attendance is? I mean, we're almost going into 2026 and they're announced in 2024.
It's that Themed Entertainment Association report is what they're talking about. So they usually release that in like August. At least they did a few years ago. So it's come out later this year than normal. I know that much. So I've kind of been on the look at it lately. But yeah, it's like it's known as the industry standard. I don't know how they get their numbers though, because Disney and Universal aren't giving them the numbers.
No.
So I've always been curious about that.
But I mean, they're very reputable. I mean, a lot of people like swear to it, like the 10 Commandments. But yeah, like literally what Brian says, it's like they're spilling the tea. So
a little bit. They put them on. They actually put them on stone tablets and they hand them out to people. That's
there you go.
That's what I was doing.
It takes so long.
Yeah.
It's the free giveaway when you go to the conventions. But what's your guys' takes on like just the overall like attendance with the parks and everything? Do you feel, because I'm hearing like on social media that people are saying, no one's going, to the theme parks, no one's going like on trips and vacations, which there are a lot of people who don't. But when I've been going to these parks, they're pretty substantial when it comes to the guest factor. So I mean, now I can only speak of over here in California, and so can Conductor. But also, how is it over there in Florida?
It depends on when you go. I mean, this summer was I'm trying to think. Like, it's anecdotal. The days that we were at Disney, like there were some days where it was, for Disney, pretty low crowds. There was no reason to get lightning lanes. Kind of similar to Universal. Nothing was insane. Lately, it's been a lot busier at both. I know Universal had like 300-minute wait times for 2 or 3 attractions at one point. But like the T report itself, like nothing there surprised me. I assumed that Universal was going to have a down attendance right before Epic opened. I think, honestly, that's something you could see with Disney with all their construction as well, as people holding off trips till stuff is done, before that stuff gets ready. But yeah, it's hard to know. There were reports this summer from touring plans that the attendance at Disney was lower than it had been the last like 4 or 5 years.
Sure.
So it's hard to know. I think we'll probably get a lot coming out of the earnings report coming up from Disney and Universal. Now, we won't get attendance numbers, you get revenue numbers. So if Disney's revenue was like flat, that probably would tell you that their attendance was maybe down a little. Because typically if their attendance stays flat, they'll see it upwards of revenue because of price increases. So I imagine if you're going off of the Orange County tax revenues, which have been talked about each month, they've set records every single month since Epic opened, and every single time the local government credits Epic Universe for it. So I think we'll very likely see another pretty big quarter for Comcast and Universal Studios. To me, the big question is just Disney. Like, how did they fare this summer? Which I kind of think with them announcing the short-term turnarounds, like the animation experience, the Soarin' stuff, they could have realized, like, oh, shows and parades are not going to move the needle. We need actual attractions. And so they're trying to do some of these quick turnarounds to have some stuff to brag about. Because when they announced the one for the animation experience, it was right toward the end of the summer. And I was like, I'm betting. Because I just never thought that, like, parades and shows, although the fan base will enjoy it, I don't think that's going to pull people in to go, like, let's book a week at Disney.
Yeah.
Like, it appeals more to, like, locals and people who are already going to go, maybe more than likely.
And eventually when the attendance report does come out for both theme parks, it's really going to make me wonder if Universal is going to possibly, be the number one spot, at least this year. The reason why I've said that is I've had people tell me that a lot of families that go on vacation, especially to Florida and Orlando, more families are booking vacations for Universal and not as much for Walt Disney World. So I've been hearing that a lot lately. So does that increase the numbers to one side, or does it equal out? Because again, when you come out here to the West Coast, just like the East Coast, obviously, the Disney parks is going to be a staple. It's a must do. But how much of that is that family of four really going to spend that time compared to their competitor, which offers more, maybe slightly less priced, but then it's a better experience overall? Because we talked about it last night, Jared, on OG's channel about the whole phone situation, constantly being on your phone and not being able to enjoy the aesthetics, the theme park, the atmosphere, because you're always on your phone. So,
yeah, I do know. I talked to two people that run travel agencies that are Disney travel agencies, and they told me, I was kind of surprised by this. They said that they saw quite a big, uptick in the Universal bookings. They saw a downturn in the Disney bookings. But what they were saying, both of them said this, which both are anecdotal, but they were seeing people book week long at Universal and not really splitting time, which I thought people would split time, like maybe more toward Universal or whichever it was to check out Epic. But both of them said that. So I think, and I know Brian said people have been saying Disney attendance down for a while, which Disney doesn't really care about the attendance. It's more about the revenue. But I think when you have places like touring plans, you have, I'm talking to a couple people that own travel agencies that's, specifically specialize in Disney vacations. We'll see. I'm not predicting anything, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it. And then is that, I've said before, if they have an issue this summer or this past summer, this is going to be a continuing problem with all the construction and with Epic, seemingly would get better about its wait times and all the issues with that park as well. But it's just speculation, of course, at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, but I do find very interesting. Now, again, this is 2024, but this was mentioned by Jack from DSMY Newscast, that the Themed Entertainment Association attendance report for 2024 has been released. Magic Kingdom remains number one, the most visited theme park in the world, with 17.8 million. But this was like a little bit of, I don't want to say a surprise, but just the fact that Disneyland is coming up on the heels of Magic Kingdom. Disneyland took the number 2 slot with 17.3, which is, they're coming up on Magic Kingdom's heels. I know that might change once like the Cars area and Villains open in Magic Kingdom, but the fact that really nothing substantial has really been added to Disneyland Park probably since Tiana's. And that was already an existing attraction. It just got rethemed. The fact that Disneyland is like in the number 2 spot right after Magic Kingdom, I thought is very interesting. Now, again, that might change for 2025 with Universal's Epic Universe and what have you. But the Disney Parks global attendance was 142.5 million.
Okay. I mean, what was Magic Kingdom's attendance? Oh,
it was 17.8.
Okay. I mean, I don't think like next year Epic's not gonna. It doesn't have the sheer number of people, so it's not gonna be. I mean, it might be in the top 20 or something like that. But I think what would be interesting to see, I think you will see the, Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios itself move up there, and I guess the question would just be I don't really know and think maybe Magic Kingdom would be hit by it as much, but I think like Animal Kingdom for sure probably was if a park was get a hit, or maybe a Hollywood Studios or an Epcot, but I don't think Magic Kingdom is one that would budge much. But I guess I'd be curious if it moves at all, or where Disneyland is just growing. But I mean, either way, I don't think Disney's upset if it's Disneyland or Disney World. Although they may not like the fact that Magic Kingdom is not the number one spot, but either way, they have a park that would be in the the top spot more than likely.
So OG55 has a great comment, George, if you could pull that up real quick. He mentioned Epic was also only open half of 2025, so that will definitely impact where it lands on the list. So he's referring to the next list that comes out for 2025, and I can almost guarantee it's going to jump up on that list. Where, who knows, but we could see that uptick for sure.
Yeah,
I think the real numbers that'll show for Epic would probably be for the 2026 year that's moving into 2027.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think at this point, Epic, maybe they break 3.5 million visitors on next year's, which I don't even know if that'd put them in the top 20. Because they opened in late May. You may be talking about if they have 15,000 people in that park. They don't have the numbers to push enough people in there yet to really make much of a dent. But I think it's, like George said, I think you'd see a bigger impact in 2026 numbers, 2027 numbers, things like that.
Well, Brian also makes a good point right under OG's comment was Animal Kingdom more than Universal Hollywood. I think at least for now, I think once Fast and Furious opens, I'm wondering once our security situation is resolved, more stuff opens at City Walk, and we start to see construction for the hotel, and then whatever of the 6 attractions going on the lower lot for our park, I kind of feel that Universal might jump up the list a little bit, because Animal Kingdom right now, at least for the next, what they say how long the Tropical America lands are going to be, how long for construction? A couple years?
Well, they haven't said specifically. I've heard 2027, 2028.
Okay, well,
but it's going to be for a while.
Yeah, well, of what I'm hearing, I'm so far right now that the whole Tropical Americas would be ready sometime by 2027, which I'm very curious to see, because we've seen Universal do these projects, but I'm curious to see if they do these 6 attractions like back to back to back to back.
I'm sure.
Or if they're going to do like one here, one there. Like I'm wondering if they're really going to just like clear out all the space and literally just do like one big major project.
Well, see, this is what I mentioned, I think the last time I was on your channel, George, and even with OG when Jared was on there, I mentioned it was if Comcast does acquire Warner Brothers, what type of impact with the debt they already have, Warner Brothers debt, being added to it if they acquire it, what can we see on projects, the time frame, or just projects being canceled or annexed? Because Universal is putting a lot of money out there, not just thinking about acquiring WB, but you got what they're building with the Texas Kids Park. You got Epic Universe expansion, Universal Orlando, Islands of Adventure construction. You got the UK park. You got, multiple locations for this, Horror Nights experience being built all over the place. So it makes me wonder, by them acquiring Warner Brothers, what that can mean for projects already announced or future projects.
Well, and I wonder if that's why they're showing a lot of the like 6 projects at once, because maybe they're thinking in their mind that, hey, maybe a couple of them would be, part of the Warner Brothers catalog. But I do have to say, though, yes, I did make the list of 2020
top 40 under 40.
Yeah.
Oh, he's on fire.
We got Rudio in the house as well. George is not beating the Elio allegations with that hair.
Nope.
And then we got Shelly here saying hi to Brandon.
What's that baby doing in the chat here?
No, I don't know. I'll behave though. I saw that. I have to behave myself.
Brian says Hollywood Studios and Epcot being near 2019 levels are probably the most interesting numbers for me.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't actually had a chance to do a deep dive.
I'm very curious to see, like, once I think like 2024 is interesting. 2025, I really wouldn't bat an eyelash at, because that's where like a lot of the transition was happening with Universal. Yeah, I'm very curious to see 2026 and on. Yes. I think that's where it's really coming.
Well, and I was telling you guys, I think in the group chat, it was people I've talked to at Universal they seem very focused on the future. Not as much, like, I don't think they're much concerned about as much stuff coming out right now. Obviously, they want to make money and see a return on things, but they seem very forward thinking on these things and like looking at the next 10 years and beyond to try and like really eat up market share. So the transition years, like, I mean, like I talked about, I just put a video talking about whenever Epic APs might show up, because they've released the ticket packages and they're not on there. And I think there's a decent chance you don't see APs in 2026 for Epic, because unless you see a dent in these wait times, you're also not going to be able to get more people into that park. So until they either figure out the ride, like it becomes way more efficient, or they add more things to that park, it's going to be very limited in terms of its overall attendance numbers it can generate. I mean, Magic Kingdom can get 50,000 people a day in there. You can't do that at Epic right now.
In your opinion, when would you? I mean, again, it all just depends on, I guess, the numbers of how it progresses as the years go on. But where would you say that Universal, you think that would be their best bet to add Epic into their annual passes?
It's all going to hinge on those wait times, unless we see any change. I look today and it's heading in another upward trajectory. So we're going into Christmas, so they could even get higher because it's going to be very busy at Christmas time. As it looks right now, there's no way you can throw APs in that mix, because you're talking AP or Universal Studios has a bigger percentage of APs per day than Disney World does. So that could be anywhere from 5,000 to 9,000 guests a day that could be annual pass holders. Yeah, and you cannot throw that into Epic Universe right now. The wait times would be just astronomical, higher than they already are.
Are there locals that are going to Epic regularly? Like, are they dedicated to purchase tickets up until, like, while even having their annual pass? Or do you think the people that are attending are more so the vacationers and the APs are more so just waiting because they have to then buy? It's almost like when there's a blockout date for a Disney reservation system, where if they say, hey, if you want to go during Christmas, you can just buy a one-day ticket. It's only $209, right? But they have your Magic Key, and it's like, well, that defeats the whole purpose of having a Magic Key. So why would I spend another $200 to $300 for a one-day ticket when that could go towards my Magic Key renewal? Do you think that's the same route with Epic?
Yeah. I mean, they have the discounted tickets for annual pass holders that are cheaper than the general public. But yeah, most people, I mean, I've talked to a few people that have gone like 2 or 3 times, but they're not like, you don't have the people that would go near as often if they had an AP offer. And I think the majority of people are people that are on vacation, that are traveling outside of like your vloggers and your people that are covering something. I think most of the APs, at least that I've talked to and seen, that basically just waiting for that AP to show up.
And that won't happen until they expand more. I think the wait times are just going to be where they're at for a little while, but as they expand more, I think at that point, then they'll introduce that. Because the only other way I can see it, and I know people wouldn't like this way, but it's just a food for thought idea, is they can implement it, but people would only be able to do or to go to Epic once a week per whatever annual pass you have for Universal Orlando, and you can only go once a week if that's what you feel that's necessary. So that way they kind of feel that they have it, but it's not an everyday occurrence where, like you're saying, Jared, it would just make the wait time so much worse. So instead of having 7 full days every single week of bad wait times, you might have 1 out of the 6.
Yeah, but then I think I get the idea that they want to prevent any sort of reservation system.
That's true.
Get you into a reservation system if they did. I'm not saying they won't. Yeah, I mean, I think if I was betting, I'm betting at this point at 2027 until something changes. Unless there is a breakthrough, like maybe these rides still have a lot more capacity they can get in them and things of that nature. But at this point, if you were to we were placing bets on something, I'm going 2027. Because even if you're building this stuff, those things are going to take years to get done.
Oh, definitely.
Unless you did more. They still haven't done all the entertainment you can do in Celestial Park that they said they were going to do. So you could add stuff like that in, or shows, short-term things you could pop up pretty quick. But if you're talking like a land expansion, like that's great, but you're not going to see that even as quickly as Universal builds. That's at least a couple of years before that would be done.
I mean, speaking of Celestial Park, I mean, really, Universal should capitalize on like teaming up with like Lowe's and even like with Conductor with Costco, because every time that I walk into Celestial Park and I see that big water show, it literally reminds me of a bidet, like one big giant bidet.
No, so, I know. I already know where this is going. I already know where this is going.
It's like a baseball game on the back of your ticket. You get like 30% off a bidet. You're like, I was wanting one. Celestial Park brought to you by Kohler. Or Kirkland. We're gonna say Kirkland. Kirkland,
yeah.
What's the high end Kirkland? Kirkland, like black label. Signature. That's right. Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, Helios is pretty signature. I mean, like maybe like spend like a minimum of 2 nights at the Helios. You walk out with a free bidet.
It's a good idea. Listen, you'll get more bookings.
Yeah, it's like install Celestial Park right into your very own bathroom.
Oh, you could have light up. It could like synchronize with your phone and the music. You can have your own fountain show on your toilet.
It can literally synchronize to your grunts.
Yes. Imagine you play it, it's got little music, and the lights go down, and you're just like, oh, it's just like I'm in Celestial Park.
I'm letting them get it out of their system.
Listen, I found the best bidet ever at Costco, and I'm like, hey, conductor, can you help me out here? And he's like, no. And I'm like, come on. It was $500, but I mean, look for something.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure it had warming seats too.
I mean, hey, you can't go wrong with like a little cool squirt with some roasty toasty buns.
Well, that one I think it had been warm water. That's the fancy ones warm up the water first.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh God.
Wait a minute.
Don't get started.
Water bidets. Oh, water bidets, sir. They change your life, is what they do.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Basically, a bidet is like. It's like a fancy device that's connected to your toilet, and when you're done doing your business, it
pressure washes you.
Yeah, it literally gets up all in those nooks, crannies, and crevices.
You are not actually clean unless you have used one. I will just say that. Most people are walking around just dirty.
Yeah.
My grandpa has those LED pool. Listen, those LED pool lights are cool.
Wait, really? That's what. Oh my gosh!
On that stream, I was telling you guys the other night, my face hurt the next day. Like when I woke up, I was telling my wife about it. She's like, "How'd the stream go?" And I was because I didn't get to bed so late, and I literally was talking. And I was like, "My face hurts," and I realized it was from laughing for 2 hours straight about bidets that my I was now sore as if I'd worked out my face.
I'm actually glad that happened to you. That's payback.
It's good. Listen, it's good to laugh. Okay, it's good for the soul, conductor.
I'm sure it is for many of your souls.
Yeah.
Dan goes, oh God.
Yeah, don't start Dan. Don't do it.
Oh my gosh.
Don't do it.
So Brian is asking, is Epic still selling out every day? I haven't been following.
Well, there's no way to know anymore because I figured this would happen. There was that back-end ticketing data that Thrill Data was able to get that Universal finally cut off access to it, which I'm surprised it took them that long to do. So we don't know. The only thing I do know is talking to people inside Universal that there is still a park capacity limit, but it changes based on feedback from like days prior, weeks prior. It's definitely, I think last time I had heard it is under 15,000 a day. Now, it could be higher at this point. I don't know, but that's what I had heard like a month and a half ago is what that number was kind of at. But in terms of if it's selling out, there's no way to know at this point because we have no data now.
Nope.
Well, and speaking of, selling out and of tickets, not sellouts, but you know what I mean.
You're calling me out, George.
Yeah, of course. And like with the ticketing system and the APs, but this is coming from Mr. Scott Gustin. Universal Orlando has released tickets for 2026. New for next year, guests with multi-day tickets can use their park days at any of the 3 theme parks and move freely between Epic Universe, Universal Studios Florida, and Islands of Adventure. Now, I'll bring this up so it can kind of be a little bit more in focused of what it looks like here. Was it not going to move there? There we go. Okay. So they have the 4-park, which I do have my own take on, like people calling Volcano Bay, one of the theme parks. For me, it's a water park. I'm sorry.
Even Mark Woodbury agrees. He refers to 3 parks. He does not refer to Volcano Bay as a theme park. That's
like saying Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon as, Disney World would have 5 parks then, Yeah. But in any case, to kind of break it down with the ticketing, 4 parks. So it's saying for a 3-day ticket, enjoy 3 days to move freely between Epic Universe, Universal Studios Florida, Islands of Adventure, and Volcano Bay. Let's see. It does include with the Hogwarts Express. Then there's the 3 parks, so they're all 3-day tickets, but it's whether or not like in the tier, do you want the 3-day ticket to include the 3 parks and Volcano Bay, just the 3 parks of Epic Studios and Islands. And then you have the 3-day ticket, which is 1 park per day, which it will not let you transfer back and forth.
Yeah. And there's other packages you can do 4-day, 5-day, but yeah, all those packages in 2026 now include ability to park hop, and you can include Epic in like each day of your trip. Because before it was very restrictive. It was basically, I think it's still that way, where you can't in whatever package you get, even international packages, only had 1 day at Epic.
Definitely.
Exactly. And they're even including it with the 5-day ticket.
Yep.
That you can move freely between Epic Universe as well. But again, you can only do that, whether it's a 3-day, a 4-day, or a 5-day, but you need the multi-park, added to your ticket.
Yep. Yeah, and like it wasn't a surprise that now so far they haven't raised prices yet, even though many times they do.
I thought for sure they would have been like on the heels, like right after Disney. But
they usually do.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but they have you can see all the dates through 2026. The most expensive day is right around starting at Christmas Eve. It's at $199 a day, so that is the most expensive day for a single ticket at Epic next year. But yeah, they already kind of said the one that's really interesting. They have the international package where even if it's a 14-day package, you can get every day at Epic, which before you couldn't. So they definitely are loosening it up. But people also did notice there's no APs options, and I was like,
and I think because they loosened it up without the APs, this is going to be the route, the next step that they're going for. That's going to lead to eventually with the annual passes. But yeah, I think it's going to be another year or so before they do.
Well, I think, it makes sense. You would introduce this, see how it goes, and then slowly get there. But I'm hoping for a breakthrough. I'm hoping that they are really just being like these rides once they are fully operational and not going down and the capacity increases, that these wait times go down. I At this point, I'm just not going to sit there and get my hopes up for it. So for me, I'm just like, it'll probably be 2027, but maybe we'll be happily surprised because they also had the single day AP single tickets you can buy all the way through 2026 as well. Doesn't mean they can't change that, but as of right now, there is nothing that's showing that annual passes will be anywhere near available in 2026.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm very curious to see. I'm actually going to wait because eventually I am going to get my Walt Disney World annual pass back, and I do want to get Universal Orlando so that way I could do a lot of transferring back and forth when all this new stuff comes about, because I will be joining Jared when he goes on the new ride that's replacing Rip Ride Rocket, so I have to be ready for that.
I'll be down for that.
You talk about a show that we did when my face was hurting afterwards. That one was.
Don't ever undersell yourself. I'll put it that way. Think before you put a number out there. But yeah, no, it's.
Oh yeah, I did it. I got Jared. Literally, that's what I called it. I got Jared when I was at the park for my 10K sub celebration, and this guy right here, I just threw out a number because he apparently wanted me to go on Tiana when it was pitch dark, the sun was down, no heat. He wanted me in the first row, no poncho, no nothing. I'm like, well, you better throw me $100.
And that's exactly
what he did.
Mr. Rich Bucks over there.
You just can't put. You got to have those numbers ready. You just can't throw out a number because once you put it out there, you're like, dang it. Now I'm committed.
Well,
I'm never rooting for more slower construction of a ride. I'll tell you that much. Maybe buying Warner Brothers will slow down all the construction at Universal.
Well, see, here's the thing. Okay, so here's the thing. I said this last night on OG's channel with me and Jared. I said, okay. I said, when Hollywood Drift opens, I'm going to do something very similar to what George did, and OG thinks he's not going to go on it. I'm going to drag him on it. You better believe
you got to do a fundraiser for OG. You got to,
Oh no. Fundraisers is for fun people.
Is that for the hospital bill afterwards?
No, it's for the probably 10 beers I'm gonna have to buy.
Will OG's hair be higher when he's done from the wind? Does it stand up even straighter? Where he's like
I think so.
It would either stand up. It would either stand up higher, or just for him going into shock, it might just droop.
And I've seen it droop, and it's not a pretty sight. So
you're like that reminds me of the old Looney Tune cartoons, the Chuck Jones, where you see something that's standing up, and then you just hear the music. It just goes.
He's like dog ears when he's sad. His hair goes down. You're like,
yeah.
Yeah, if the Ellisons are in the chat, you're just like, oh, 10 grand. And you're like, son of a gun.
Yeah.
10 grand. Jeez.
And welcome in, Jacob. He's thinking I'm thinking of going at the end of April. Okay. Well,
you would be able to park hop then. Yeah. It's effective January 1st. All the new stuff for Epic. So
okay.
Yeah.
It's moving. They're moving and shaking.
Which will be interesting because usually, given that you can't park up to it now, a lot of times in the evenings, you actually find pretty reasonable wait times toward the end of the night because a lot of people ride stuff and then they leave the park. So with the park hopping in there, that'll be interesting to see how the park reacts.
Hold on, Jared. George, pull that up. What is this? I get amazing Wi-Fi with the hair. Stand next to me when booking lightning lanes.
Well, that's fine and official. Then we just dogpile his ass when we're trying to get our D23 tickets.
Perfect.
No, that's what he just tells when he finds a cute girl in the park. He's like, "Hey, if you need some Wi-Fi," and he's just
you know what I'd say to that? I'd be like, hold on, sweets. You can have your Wi-Fi. Just let me get my D23 ticket, and he's all good.
Hey, George, you see this right here? Wizards giving you another challenge.
Here we go. All right, okay, fine. If you do, I will wait till it is like the night of the night. Literally, it's like into the morning. You're all witnesses here. I will do this. And
now, not to be that guy, but technically, I mean, YouTube takes 30% cut, so you're not going to get the full 100.
No, that's all right. Still worth it.
Thanks, conductor. Appreciate it. He's like, that's all right.
He's like, it's okay. It's okay.
Wizard, to make himself feel like he got something out of it, I'll sit in front with him. So there you go. You heard it right here. Me,
right.
George, and Tommy. I'm throwing Tommy in the mix too. His ass is going to sit up front with us
Wizard,
too.
okay, fine. If you send the
All
100,
three of us.
well,
Right there.
all three of us front row when it's
Yep.
like the night of night.
Yep.
We'll go on track.
We're doing it.
The nighttime.
Ah.
What did Storybook say? Storybook said, "Let's do a GoFundMe bet. If OG goes on Hollywood Drift, he takes the pot."
Okay. OG, I'm dragging you on. You better be ready. Mentally start preparing. Maybe, well, I'm not going to say that last part, but just mentally prepared. That's all I'm going to tell you. Because I will drag you on.
I feel like Conductor is going to get real physical about this. Like,
yeah.
Well, if
dragging OG on the ride, like hold him on his shoulders or something. Like, sir, are you riding this ride under distress? He's like, yes.
I think he needs I think he needs a bidet.
Yeah.
It definitely helps. Listen, you know how to get OG on this ride. Let's be honest. We know how to get OG on this ride.
Well, he's going.
All you have to do is just find the right person.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You find the right person, and then it gets things moving.
Well, I'm the right person, so he just.
I think you're missing a few assets there, Conductor.
Yeah, well, he's basically.
No pun intended. I think you missed the train on that one.
No, the train's in the station. It's not leaving until all the passengers are on board. So he ain't skipping that ride. Nope.
Oh. But so moving on to
you see it right there. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
So this is courtesy of Drew, the Disney dude. Bing Bong, Partysaurus Rex, and Miguel will appear at Disney Jollywood Nights this year for the first time. But apparently they're throwing out all the stops, I think, with the characters. They're adding what was the rendition of Chewie?
The what was that? Not Earth Day. Life Day.
Life Day.
I think it is.
So I think that's very interesting. Like they're adding all these new characters for Jollywood. Because I mean, I've heard mixed reviews of Jollywood Nights. I've never done it personally, but I've heard it could be a hit or miss.
We've done it 2 years. We did the first year and the second year, which is this is gonna be the third year. First year was not good. It was not a good party at all. There was wait times for everything. It was very it was actually the first party that they'd ever done of it. Was not a good experience, wasn't smooth. Last year was improved. They did improve it quite a bit, and a lot of it is more of these meet and greets that they're doing, and like they added like a ice skating show, other stuff like that. And they seem to just adding a lot more activities to do, which I think is good. They also increased, I think, an hour longer. You get into the park earlier, so it's they're trying to add more value to it, and I don't think they raised the price on it either. So that was kind of interesting too.
Nice.
But it was much improved from the first year. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
But it's still like it's not as good. Like if you were saying Mickey's Very Merry Christmas or Jollywood Nights, I still think Very Merry Christmas Party you're going to get way more value out of it. But Jollywood Nights is much more adult oriented. It's not as much for kids.
So it'd be more like if we had something like that out here on the West Coast, it'd be more for DCA than it would be for Disneyland, because we always consider DCA the more adult park.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that like the first year that made it fun was like they implied that it was going to be a lot of like a 1950s vibe on Sunset Boulevard. And so people dressed up. So a lot of it was the actual guests that were dressing up in that vibe that kind of made the party a little bit that way. But they had this Tip Top club or something that was supposed to be this like little jazz club that was just a mess. They didn't have enough meet and greets. But the second year they did more meet and greets. It also took like an hour for people to get checked into the party. So they've improved that. So they're slowly making the party better. But I kind of wish they would do more with that Tip Top Club, because they kind of do it in the back of Tower of Terror, which is a cool atmosphere to do it back there.
So To OG, yeah. Bing Bong can be seen at the Pixar Place Hotel out here. Also, Joe Gardner from Soul plays on the piano, which I think is really cool. I mean, I've been into the Pixar Place Hotel a couple times, to meet Bing Bong and everything and just kind of tour it. I actually think it's not as bad as what a lot of people are saying it is. I mean, is it the greatest out of the 3 Disneyland hotels? Probably not, but I do think for what it was as Paradise Pier Hotel, I think
total
it
difference.
definitely is night and day.
Yeah.
And also too, the storybook Sorceress, I was actually thinking the same thing of having like a more realistic Miguel, maybe not like a full face character because obviously he's portraying like a young kid, but
Sure.
I just think that they could maybe just like spruce him up a bit.
Yeah.
I think I like Miguel when he's in his like the uniform, but when he's like in like the t-shirt and the hoodie and everything, it kind of like throws me off.
Definitely.
Yeah, some of those are kind of weird looking when they do that. Depends on each one. Which he
Now-
wasn't there last year. I think it's the first time he's making an appearance there.
Yes, I believe so. Now I'm also curious too that because you had mentioned like Mickey's like Very Merry Christmas Party and everything out in Magic Kingdom. I'm very curious as to why Disney is hesitating on doing anything of the holidays like as an after hours event at Disneyland because they moved it. They have Oogie Boogie over at DCA. They haven't had Halloween over there in a long time. They do have like the snowfall on Main Street and everything and the little nighttime Christmas parade, but I'm really surprised that they don't like incorporate like a big after hours event there.
Yeah, I love the after hours events. I don't know how it is in Disneyland, but the Magic Kingdom ones I think are pretty good value. The other parks, I don't think there's so much value there. My wife did the Hollywood Studios one this summer, and she said that it was raining a little bit, but like it's not as good of a value. It's not worth it as much as it is for Magic Kingdom. But I would love it around like Christmas, like with the Christmas theming and at nighttime and stuff like that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see. Rudio is asking, are you guys going to talk about how someone spent money on a small plane circling the Burbank studios with a banner that says save #hunt for Ben Solo?
I mean, let's be honest. The movie probably wouldn't have been good anyways. It is a cool idea. Do you see Ryan Johnson still talking about he wants to do another Star Wars movie? I'm like, do it.
I saw that.
Just do it. Just do it. Just go ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's going to be anything like the Last Jedi, I mean, oh my gosh. As I said, I need therapy after like walking out of the theater and seeing that movie.
I've never been so. Yeah, it was probably the most. Like I didn't have a lot. I was younger whenever the Phantom Menace came out, so I didn't have like a ton of expectations. But yeah, that one I remember just being mad in the movie. And I was like, this movie's terrible. Like, and then when you go home and think, because I'm the type too, when I think about it longer, like my full review of a movie is like a day later when I simmer on it. And I was just like, that movie sucked. Like, it's just not good.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I did not. That's like literally, I mean, as bad as Rise of Skywalker is, I mean, I despise Last Jedi. Like, I legitimately like get pissed off if I was to watch it. I've only seen it like once in theaters, and once was enough for me.
Yeah, my theater in Rise of Skywalker when Rey and Kylo kissed, like legitimately like laughing out loud half the theater. And then when he died, I was like, wait, what? Huh?
That was kind of weird.
Died from a kiss?
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Here's how bad it was. I was rooting for Kylo, and he killed Han Solo. I was like legitimately like, come on, Ben Solo. Let's do it. By the way, at the time, how funny would it have been at the end of that movie? Like they live and she comes out and she's like, hey guys, me and Kylo, we're together. And Chewie's just furious because he's like, listen, he's made mistakes, okay, but he's changed. And then you have this whole storyline of how Ben is trying to like become part of the crew, and then he killed Han Solo. I was like, I want that awkwardness.
Maybe that's why they did kill him off, because really, what would it be like, even if they never continued the story, but in our minds we're thinking, wait a minute,
right? How would that even work? They
had a happily ever after. So yeah, how did that conversation go? When he's Millennium Falcon?
I just want to see the scene. Chewie's like, he's just furious. He's like, no, stop. Okay, stop it. He's different. He's like, sorry, I killed Han. My bad.
Yeah. It's like after all that they went through to get where they were, it was his very own son that took him out.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remy D's asking, is the Las Vegas Horror Unleashed hype over? Here's the thing. I don't even think the hype even started, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, like us as, content creators, we were down there like opening weekend, we got to see and everything. But I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really think it ever really surpassed outside the borders of Las Vegas, as far as I know.
Not here,
No.
at least.
No, it really has not. I know on Instagram once in a while I'll see like little clips here and there from their official Instagram page. But they're adding little things here and there with new character meet and greets, little changes here and there. But I do think whatever little hype it had, it is gone. But it's something where it's the first of its kind. So maybe with the second one that they want to build in Chicago, maybe the hype will be back on the stove. Who knows? But for right now, I consider the hype over. You don't really hear anybody talking about it.
I kind of think both those and the kids resorts are just very local based. They're not really intended to be these like major destinations. So I think whatever the hype it is probably just in like the theme park, sphere of things, and not like the normie. Like I don't see anybody that's going to be like traveling to Vegas just for, Horror Unleashed.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with what's around it. You got the John Wick experience. It's the same
What
thing.
is that, by the way? Because I want to do that.
Yeah, I wanted to do that with Tommy, but we just didn't have time.
Like, do you go through like VR and you like have an obstacle course?
No. You pay a mission, and you actually feel like you're, in the movie where you walk into the Continental, you deal with the manager, you go through basically the entire storyline. It's from what I've seen, it looks very, very interesting. So in my purview, probably the next time I'm out in Vegas, I probably would do it to say I did it.
So it's like you're LARPing as John Wick?
I think so, but I could be wrong. I don't know the entire backstory, but I know VR is not part of it. It's an actual experience you get to do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That does sound kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and the comment there about the kids park. Yeah, that's my whole point is like, I think Midwestern families will, because it's near them. I'm talking like, Florida people. I mean, we're planning on probably taking our kids to it just because they're the age and we cover that stuff. But I don't think anybody outside the Midwest or around those specific little parks are necessarily going to make trips in just for it. They could.
Let me know when you do, because then that's when I'll take my trip over, because I'm not going to go over there just for myself. Can you imagine a 30-something-year-old guy like walking around with a camera?
Yeah.
I think I told you that. I was like, you can go with us. That way you don't get arrested on site. Like, this guy doesn't have kids with him.
Yeah, I'll go.
I'll be like, go with Uncle George to take pictures so he doesn't get arrested by them.
Yeah. Okay. I'd be like the security guys staring at me. Come on, kids, let's take a selfie.
Yeah, no kidding. Cover.
Now, speaking of which, Jared, I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. Do you happen to have the things that you had the last time? Because we were in the midst of talking about it when you got
I got bullied by my chat. Yeah, I remember.
yeah, exactly. Storybook sources. I will borrow the kids. I'll be like, they'll be my like cover shield. It's like, okay, let's go get some ice cream. And then I'm just like filming, and they'll be like, wait, I thought we were getting ice cream. I'm like, we are. Just give me a second here.
Yeah.
It was like the same.
They're used to that anyways.
Yeah. When George and Abby pretended to adopt me and Tommy. Remember that?
We did. Yeah, literally, because we were going in for we were there for the 70th.
Yeah.
And they said it's only for like small groups of families to actually get into the inner circle where you can see the train station and the flower bed and everything, where they were going to do the opening ceremony. And so Mademoiselle went through, I went through because Abby was scanning everyone in, and conductor was just standing there, and she's like, "Come on, let's go." She's like, "You're our son. Let's go. Let's like let's."
I was like dazed and confused times 100. I'm like, oh, okay. I just went with the program, and I'm sure people were looking at me, looking at George, then looking at Abby, like,
Yeah,
how in the hell is this mix up?
yeah. They were probably like, how is she, like after that birth? How is she still walking?
No, no kidding, right? A day when.
By the way, my daughter be good because like she's like a future content creator in the making. Like she loves that stuff, so she totally will help you.
She'll go right along with it.
Oh yeah. She's dying to like. She's like, why don't I on the show more? I'm like, you need to chill, okay? Like, calm down. Like,
hey,
she'll probably pull a bricky and she'll probably like take my camera and she'll just start walking off with it.
She might. Yeah, you just all of a sudden you have this extra footage. You're like, where did this come from?
Yeah, like I don't remember recording this.
that would be a good segment for your channel, Jared. You know you have another channel, just maybe where either your wife and your daughter do a podcast, or you and her do a podcast or a video talking about, oh, we went to Universal, or we went to Disney. That would be kind of cool to see something like that.
We do some of that in our private group, but we basically kind of made the choice to kind of keep the kids private.
Oh, sure.
The strange world we live in. But if you are a member, like in our private group, she'll pop up. Like when we went to Epic Universe, I did have a segment of the podcast episode where she just was like, gave her thoughts.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome though.
Yeah. She watches all those like vlog shows. She's like, why don't we do that? I'm like, you calm down. Okay. Be a kid. Go be a kid. You'll be a child. Okay, I've got that stuff here if you want to share my screen.
Yeah, you share. And then really quick, Jacob says the Marvel experience in Vegas was awesome.
I didn't experience that yet, but
yeah, I haven't.
Cool. I'm looking at John Wick thing. Just looks like there's a bar. Oh wait, it says your choice of assassins, crime bosses, and members of the High Table. You can expect your time at the John Wick Las Vegas Continental to be memorable, but it doesn't really give a description necessarily.
I would say watch YouTube videos on it. It does it more justice, so you kind of get the more aspect of it.
I like the idea of it though.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. All right, kids. The Kids Resort. This is being built in Frisco, Texas. It's opening in 2026, and then they released the official lands. So we have Shrek Swamp. Oh, come on, Universal site. There we go. You want me to read this, George? Or you want to do it?
You can read it. It's fine.
Ogre Size Fun. It says you're personally invited to DreamWorks Shrek's Swamp, a waterlogged paradise featuring tons of fun for little ogres and dragons. Opening in Frisco, Texas. So they've got a meet and greet with Shrek and Fiona, but no talking donkey at this point, at least. And then there's like at least one ride in here. It says you'll be up to your earwax and ogre size fun with 2 interactive play areas to splash and stomp away. And I do believe there is a ride in there, but this page doesn't show it. There's also SpongeBob SquarePants Bikini Bottom, which I think is mostly a water area.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it says dive into undersea adventure with Nickelodeon SpongeBob SquarePants as you soak in the sights and sounds of Bikini Bottom. And I don't think they actually have the Krusty Krab. I think they ran into some sort of IP issue there. So I know the initial concept art showed that, but I don't think the updated one does. But it says interactive fun. Kids can splash around with Nickelodeon SpongeBob SquarePants, Patrick, Sandy, and Squidward in interactive play areas. And then you can meet SpongeBob, and I think you also get to meet Sandy and Patrick and Squidward. Okay.
Nice.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and then come on, Universal. Sometimes their website just slow.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Like even when like booking stuff, like dining reservations, and even like it runs slow where you have to like refresh the page and everything.
Yeah,
I've noticed that.
Especially with the ticketing stuff that came out today, people probably booking stuff and they're now. This one looks like the most. It's got this water ride in here, the Minions area. So it's got this water toboggan ride in here. You got Minions jumping all over everything. But it says, watch it with glee as the yellow Minions try to rein in their wild purple counterparts. Minions versus Minions Bellow Bay Club. And you will have It says, let the games begin as Illumination's minions overrun a peaceful retreat. When yellow minions try to tame their purple counterparts, leads to a wave of unpredictable water-soaked fun. And then they have competition games in here. So it looks like interactive play areas. So all of these have interactive play areas, undoubtedly. And then it says you will have take a break from unpredictable water-soaked fun at the Bellow Bay Club to meet your favorite minions. So I don't know if that's a restaurant and a meet and greet, or it's probably this area back here. Probably, if I were to guess. And then
That's interesting.
we have Jurassic World, which this one does have a coaster. This actually looks pretty cool. They have a coaster in here. They got this play area in here. It looks like you got a drop tower ride back there. You've got a Mr. DNA, kind of like it goes at just kind of a slow circle up top, like a hot air balloon type of ride.
Sure. I wonder if that coaster, if that's something that, they're taking a page out of Universal Beijing for that. Because I know the Jurassic World area out there has 2 attractions, that adventure attraction where it's kind of practical and screen based, and then the other one kind of reminds me, and George knows what I'm talking about, of like a silver bullet type roller coaster, and it kind of spins you around 360 looking at different scenes of the attraction.
I get the idea it's just a very basic like Flight of the Hippogriff type of coaster, if I were to guess, because it's all just going to be super kiddie based stuff. Says get up and close with baby dinosaurs and use your exploration skills to test in Jurassic World Adventure Camp. You'll have exciting rides like Jurassic World Cretaceous Coaster and Mr. DNA's Double Helix Spin. And then says scale the Jurassic World lookout towers for Peridon. What is that? Is that Peridon? I think Petrodon. Eye view of the park and come face to face with a baby raptor. And then I think that land will be a huge hit because kids love dinosaurs.
See, I wonder if that Peridon, because you guys have Peridon flyers in Islands of Adventure, I think it is. Yeah. I wonder because there were issues with that attraction, a while back. I wonder if eventually they will maybe dismantle that attraction or keep it there and kind of build like a sister version of this for the kids park. That's what it almost sounds like.
They'll probably eventually get rid of Peridon flyers because that thing actually they have it. You have to it's for kids and you have to have an adult with you to ride it. It's because of the weight limits on that ride. If you have 2 adults on it, it eventually breaks down, which is why they changed that. So I think it probably is on borrowed time.
Yeah.
I rode a Peridon. My honeymoon was a nightmare.
I was like, where's this going? And I was like,
nah, I knew where it was.
A month. I haven't heard an ex-wife joke in a long time.
I know. I had to like dust it off the shelf.
Yeah. Storybook's question there. I think the Krusty Krab is no longer there because of an IP thing. I think they haven't come out and said. I think
that really is like that would be an instant success. I mean, I know that obviously for legal or copyright reasons, but it's like, I mean, you can't have Bikini Bottom without the Krusty Krab. That's like going into the Simpsons land and you can't get a Krusty burger.
Well, I think the issue you've got all the SpongeBob IPs. They're kind of everywhere.
They are. Literally, like we did. I actually have a video up on Hall of Gelato. There's actually the SpongeBob ride in Vegas.
Oh yeah,
the little shooter thing that me, Abby, and Tommy did.
They're in like some of those malls too. I think like up north, like they're coaster malls or whatever. They've got little SpongeBob stuff in there, but they also have a Trolls area. They have a Puss in Boots area, and then they also have there is like the Gabby's Dollhouse main area. When you walk in, it's called if this ever loads. It is called Isle of Curiosity. So you walk in through the hotel, and then you and this is like the concept art. If you're looking at my thing still.
Well, conductor, when we go, obviously for content purposes, we got to stay at the hotel. So.
Oh yeah. No,
sure. Nothing wrong with 2 grown men staying at a resort hotel, going into a kid's resort. I mean,
just walk around being like, "What's your problem? What you do?"
Yeah. There's no problem whatsoever. Yeah.
None at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, so it's I mean, it's only 35 acres, not a huge park.
No.
They've even limited. Some people had criticized it about not having dark rides, but the local government wouldn't let them. Essentially,
Really?
they don't want it to be a worldwide destination, so it's only going to be open. I think they said the hours are like 10 to 6 during the week and like 10 to 7 during the weekends. No fireworks.
What I think what it kind of reminds me of, there was like a kind of like an amusement / theme park over in Pennsylvania. It's called Idlewild Park.
Okay.
Where it kind of gave off what this vibe is, where they have certain IPs that was utilized. Like you can go on the trolley for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That was like a staple at Idlewild Park, but then they would have just like the normal kind of like amusement park attractions, but it would be kind of subtle IPs that they would kind of throw in there, like with Thomas the Tank and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think it's like that in like the Peppa Pig Park or like Sesame Place and SeaWorld. Yeah. Very similar concepts. Just like I mean, I think the total cost of this park is like 500-ish million. Which in terms of an entire theme park, I mean, Epic Universe was like 6 to 8 billion. So it's
exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting. I think it'll be. I think looking at the park, like it's got areas too for kids with sensory issues and like autism. So I think it's pretty cool. And then it's got tons of splash areas, interactivity. Like honestly, from a kid, like my kids are the prime age for it. I think that I showed it to them and they're like, that looks awesome. So I think that kids will love this. It's not meant for adults. So the adults are criticizing it, probably maybe not have kids.
I feel like this is a park that literally, when they say it is for kids, not because it's like kiddie rides or what have you. I just think nowadays kids, again, like with technology and social media, they don't care about the details of theme. Because my son's the same way. It's like he can appreciate it, but he's like, I just want a good ride.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't care what like the theme would be for the Rapids ride, like whether it was Minions or SpongeBob or something else completely different. If it was a thrilling ride that he enjoyed and he got wet and it was fun and it was like, that's all he cares about at the end of the day.
Well, it's like kids aren't going to be nitpicking sight lines and all, this corner isn't themed. Like kids are just want to have fun. Like I've talked about before, half the time we go to Epcot, our kids had the most fun playing at the playground area or like splash pads. Like kids don't necessarily need all these like high-end rides to have a lot of fun. So I think for the age range, they said it's for up to like 10, 11 years old. That might be on even the high end there. I think something like this, kids will just, especially in the summertime, if it's hot outside, all the water features they have going on, be a really good time.
I mean, who knows? I mean, I could pass for 11 because I mean, I had a full mustache at the time when I was 11.
I mean, if you shave, you might be able to go for like 9.
And maybe I could push it like, it's like, excuse me, like a 9-year-old can have a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. If I shave, I do lose. I have a little bit of a baby face. I don't know if I can go for 10, but I can try. I would freak my kids out if I shaved, and my wife.
Yeah. You could just go in and say, see, this is what happens when you eat all your vegetables.
Get a big old beard.
Yeah. I ate my can of spinach.
There you go. Bye-bye.
I like spinach artichoke dip. Spinach on its own is so gross. Oh,
it is.
I love spinach artichoke dip.
Dude, spinach artichoke.
Like in the like that you have it in like the like kind of like a bread bowl kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, like, it's so good that way.
Either that or I use pita chips. Use it just as a dip.
My wife makes this. It is a tortellini soup that she puts spinach in there. It's like you put it on the crock pot. Oh, dude, it's so good. Even with the spinach in there, it's excellent. It's one of my favorite things she makes.
I will say, I think we could all agree that if you eat too much spinach, you're really going to need a Kirkland bidet.
It's going to come in very handy. It's going to clean you right out. Conductor just takes a vow of silence now.
That's why, I was just like, nope, no comment. Can't buy a vow.
I saw him earlier put his mic on mute. He's just like, screw these guys. I'm not giving them nothing.
Because he knows what happened the last time, even just giving us just a little bit. I do want to say to Storybook Sorceress, hopefully that you'll be able to make it out to California in 2027. Should be a great time. I do know for a fact the Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift will be up and running. I am very curious though, like at the time that you do come in 2027, if the real question is the expansion of Avengers Campus going to be open, because I mean that construction is moving pretty fast.
They are. They are
So
moving
they're
fast.
rating it as 2027, but I'm wondering if it's going to be like an early 2027.
It's possible.
Or do
No,
you think Disney's going to more so shoot for like spring to summer?
That's why I think more of summer, and if not summer, winter, because summer and winter seems to be the money revenue for the parks. So
when are the Olympics? 2028.
2028.
Okay, it'll for sure be done before then, I would assume.
Oh yeah, but the only other attraction maybe might be open at Disneyland by that time is the oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. The Akanto, or no, not George, help me out.
Coco?
For
Coco. Thank you. So that's the only other attraction I see open. Obviously, for Universal, we're going to have Fast and Furious. I don't know if they're going to be able to open another attraction by the time the Olympics show up. Maybe. I'm not going to say no, but with each day passing, it's questionable. But who knows?
California.
Well, I'm just going to say this. You got to love our state legislation. They're horrible. My 7-year-old niece can do better with crayons, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
You're going to love it. It's terrible.
It's horrible. Terrible, horrible, all of the above.
There you go. So let's see. Brian says, George, if you have time on this stream or next time, could you do a reaction video to the Beto Carrero World Hot Wheels Epic Show? Interesting. I just saw a video the other day. It's pretty epic. Okay. What we'll do is I'll save that for the next stream because it'll give me something to actually add for the next stream. I'm interested. Yeah, I'll definitely do that, Brian. So definitely when I do the next live, I'll add that into one of the topics for sure. And then let's see, Vegas Disney RTV in the house. If the Halloween parties move to Disneyland, then Disneyland will get the top spot next year, but DCA would see a decline. I feel like DCA is, I mean, anything would probably make it have a decline one way or the other because with all the construction. And again, with the prices going up on the ticket, I mean, DCA was already, not a full day park. So the fact that the ticket prices went up with literally nothing new added is interesting to me. But I think they're going to aim for Coco to be open around the time for the Olympics. Obviously, Avatar, we still don't know with that. I still have a lot of questions for that one.
Yeah, but I'm going to say this to kind of, add to George's comment. We can pretty much at this point guarantee Coco and Avengers Camp is done. Avatar, not going to be done before the Olympics. There's no way. I just do not see it. That's just my personal purview. I would like to see it. The chances are slim to none. It'll be after.
Okay, so really quick, Storybook Sorceress confirms it's a theme park in the south of Brazil. I guess where the Hot Wheels.
That makes sense.
They're building they're building 2 Mattel parks. One in Kansas City, one in Arizona. It's got a Hot Wheels coaster.
Ooh, that sounds.
And a Barbie beach house.
I heard something about that. Makes sense because the movie did pretty well.
Yeah. Also, they apparently are going to have a He-Man Skull Castle, and I'm like,
oh man,
there. If you do He-Man,
oh yeah.
Can you imagine if they did He-Man, like if Universal was able to utilize that?
I want Skeletor. I love the Skeletor memes.
Yeah.
And how they could do Skeletor is like how they do with Ernesto de la Cruz, like with the makeup and the prosthetics and everything, where you would actually have the mouth really moving.
Yep.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, to Storybook Sorceress, yeah, I mean, there's always an incentive to go back. You'll always have, something to say, hey, you know what? Let's plan another trip, shall we?
Yep.
What else was I going with the
what? With what?
The Coco thing I was thinking. Oh, that's what we were saying about like for the Olympics and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Avengers Campus will be open. And I think, as I said, Coco, because they're also going to want Coco open prior to the sequel that's due to come out in 2029.
Well, George, let me ask you this. Okay, so with those two attractions in DCA, because it seems like right now the former location for Tortilla Joe's that's supposed to have two restaurants, a barbecue restaurant and a high-end steakhouse, and then the temporary spot for Earl's Sandwich. Do you think we'll see Porto's, those two restaurants open alongside the two attractions in DCA before the Olympics, or do you kind of just throw up a question mark? Because every time we hear,
honestly, I could see Pandora coming before Porto's.
I know it's stupid. It's like, my whole thing is, you got the room to build the damn thing. You already came up with concept art. I know
that announcement. What, in 2023?
Yeah, but you and OG have made it very clear: never get married to concept art.
Never
I
did,
get it,
no,
but
And-
again, how hard is it to build that damn thing?
And that's why, speaking to that comment, never get married to the concept, never even get married to what Disney announces, because it very well could be that Pandora, I'm going to say it and I'm going to say it again, Pandora could very well go into the backlot area. It very well could be in Hollywoodland.
Sure.
They're getting rid of Monsters, Inc. one way or the other. They're probably going to utilize a lot of the set pieces and the audio animatronics that's going to go down to Florida. And to Bricky's credit, he was saying about maybe utilizing that show building for, storage stuff, while they're doing the construction up until they need it to be. So really, they don't really need anything to solidify to say that Avatar is going to go in there. It could change at any time, where if they clear everything out and they say, hey, you know what? I think we're on a fast track. The Eastern Gateway starting. Let's put Avatar over in the Simba parking lot. That way we can make it a little bit bigger. We could flesh it out. Let's put Zootopia in the Hollywood backlot because it's an easier transition. You don't have to touch the monorail for anything. It's like, I don't know. I just have this funny feeling that we're not getting a whole lot of information on Avatar, because I feel like that they have a idea of what to do with it, but I feel like they don't really have a fleshed out.
Well, see that's exactly my point. They don't know what to do with it. They in my personal purview, they kind of jumped the gun and said, "Oh yeah, well we're calling it experience. We're not calling it a land. We're putting it in the Hollywood backlot, such and such and such and such." And again, I've said it repeatedly over time with being on your show, George, and even with OG last night. I said it again. Disney has that bad way of announcing stuff, going into more detail than they should right at the beginning, and kind of just, sorry to say, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but dragging their feet along the path, or should I say walking path, dragging their feet. Meanwhile, their competitors like, no. We announced it, we're starting it, or we're starting to build it. We won't announce anything until halfway through completion.
Well, to give you an idea, Rip Ride Rocket was demolished in 64 days, and Tom Sawyer, or Rivers of America, and all that has been closed for like 110 days. They just now started really demolishing like Tom Sawyer.
Isn't that interesting?
That's
and
crazy.
On top of that, Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket was still up in some areas, and they've already started new footers, new construction, new concrete.
Oh yeah, they cleared out an area like the next day. They got footers going for the replacement. It's crazy.
They cleared it out faster than a bidet.
It's true. At the top setting.
Mm-hmm. It was all cleared out.
Cleaner than the day you were born, conductor. Like, I'm not giving you nothing.
You're a piece of work. Piece of work.
Oh gosh.
Probably
but it's very true though, to the fact of where we did see a little spark of Disney doing that, where with the Hollywood Studios archway, like literally they took that down like literally overnight. Like it was up the next day, boom, it was gone.
Yeah,
that was kind of awesome.
I'm sure they probably didn't want that going down while guests were in the park, would be my guess.
Yeah, you'd be hearing taps playing.
Yeah, or it actually falls the wrong way. And, that'd be a bad
gosh. Can you imagine?
Then you'd really be hearing taps.
You'd be hearing squeaks, not taps.
Yeah, be hearing kabooms.
No,
Like literally pieces of rock just like landing, like boom, boom.
jeez Louise. You imagine? Good God.
What's taps?
Taps, you know that like where they play like at a military funeral service and everyone salutes.
Mm.
Here, I can play some taps. I can find taps real quick.
You find taps?
Oh boy.
We'll give OG. Here we go. All right, I'll share my screen.
Oh Lord.
All right, here we go.
Oh God. Just scaring me.
Can you guys see it?
No.
No, it's not popping up.
Oh.
Because usually it can pop up like where I could share your screen.
Yeah. That's not good.
Let me stop it and try it again. It's doing the thing.
That ain't good.
It shows it like grayed out down below. I don't know.
Here we go. Now it came up. Here we go.
Oh, okay. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go. Like, surely you heard that, OG.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Anyone that's just coming in now, they're probably thinking, wait, I thought the river was already gone.
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
It's a Rivers of America appreciation stream.
Good Lord. Imagine.
Yeah, they actually played that during my my grandpap's funeral because he was in the Korean War. He was in artillery.
Yeah,
So-
they did for my granddad's too. It was kind of cool as the military funerals. Like they are very serious about that stuff.
Oh, they are.
You know.
Definitely.
Now, for the really quick before we go to the final topic, what do you guys think of this?
Idea of retroscapes. Like retro is what? Remind me what that is.
I was kind of hoping you guys would have known.
Like retro escape rooms. Oh, it's in Vegas. I'm looking it up now.
Oh, got it.
Oh, it's a retro theme park. Oh, that's that park with the concept art.
Oh, is that the okay? Is that the one? Sorry, Storybook Sorceress. Is that the one that it's going into Vegas where it's different?
Yep.
Whatchamacallit?
George,
Yeah.
could you find a picture and share it? Or you have it?
Yeah, it's
there
this
we
one
go.
here where now if it ever gets built, but yeah, it's supposed to be like this retro, like they've got 1950s.
That's pretty dope.
Dude, it looks cool.
Yeah, see, that looks impressive because I mean, like, to literally go back in time into the different eras and everything is
That'd be
that would
awesome.
be really cool.
Get
I'd
those
definitely go back to Vegas. for
hippies
that.
out of here, but other than that, yeah.
Well, yeah.
No, I mean, I remember seeing this like last week. I think I may still do a video on it, but yeah, it looks cool. Like it's all this different area. Oh, a 1980s here. Oh, that would be so
looks
cool.
so awesome.
That says
Like,
Back to the Future back
For
then.
me, like, yeah, like the 1950s, the 1980s, and like I'd be stuck in the 1990s because I mean, like,
I just hang out in the 90s. Yeah,
yeah,
Right.
like you wouldn't want to be like back in that era.
dude, this thing looks cool.
For sure.
Got the grunge going on now. Whether or not how many different theme park concepts have we seen be proposed, and they don't happen. But if this one does happen, that would be
That'd be
be
pretty
awesome.
awesome. And it seems like a lot of it's outdoors. So
VR game night, 1950s hopscotch or
throwback jams night, 90s. Ooh.
dude.
Okay. I'm not opposed to it.
You can
Yeah,
RSVP.
I'd go to Vegas for that.
How do you RSVP for this thing? It's not. Yeah, it says date to be determined, but you can RSVP for it if you'd like.
Wait,
Yeah.
what was the thing? Sock hop extravaganza?
Yeah, it says
That kind of reminds me of Mel's Diner.
yep, 1950s inspired sock hop with swing dancing, live music, and themed decor at our classic diner.
Oh, is that what it is? I thought it meant something else.
I don't even know what you thought that was.
I don't think you want to know.
I don't.
Swingers night. Dude, 80s VR gaming night. I'm there.
Oh, dang.
That looks pretty sick.
See, this is the same thing at that one park that was proposed in like Oklahoma, and like it fell through. But I'm like, if it ever happens, it could be cool. But Like that part's awesome.
Yeah, Storybook Sorceress. I'm an old soul myself. Like, I mean, I do enjoy like a lot of like up to date stuff, but like I enjoy a lot of the stuff from like the oldies and like from the 1960s and everything. I can mention like something, you know, like of like with Frank Sinatra and stuff like that. And it's like people are like, wow, you really know who like Frank Sinatra is? It's like, oh yeah, like I love that kind of stuff.
I love Sinatra. That's a good vibe. Like smoke a cigar with some Sinatra playing.
Oh, there you go.
It's the best.
That would be cool. And then yeah, I want a Pac-Man roller coaster.
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be cool.
That would be really cool. Jared, I know you got to get going, but we're almost pretty much finished. I just have just one more thing before we are going to go any. Let me see if I can.
Got to get these hooligans to bed at some point.
Yeah. And it's actually the final topic, which is actually the thumbnail of the whole live. And this one I think is very interesting. The first one comes from Matt, aka Disney Scoops Guy. A Disney drone show was just filmed over the Disney Ranch in Santa Clarita, California. Could a new drone show be coming to Disneyland? And then also to follow up with that, Scott Gustin said Disney's drones were once again seen over Golden Oak Ranch in Santa Clarita, California on Tuesday. Tonight's test included Peter Pan, Moana, Sorcerer Mickey, Ursula, and more. Thanks to SoCal Outdoor Explorer. What's up, Santa Clarita, for sharing the video.
That looks cool.
That looks pretty dope.
I mean, can you guys potentially see, obviously, if they're testing it out in California, do you think it'll come to Disneyland? If it does, do you think it'll be for Disneyland Park? Do you think it'll be for the expansion of DCA? Could it be for the third gate? What say you?
I don't know enough about Disneyland to know where it would go, but I think there will be drones somewhere because they already do it in like Shanghai. Don't they have a pretty complex show out there?
Paris has a huge elaborate drone show, which is very popular.
Yeah,
for sure. I could see it at Disneyland. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think I could be wrong. Universal's tried this before, but Disneyland, George, remind me if I'm wrong here, but I think Disneyland even tried it, and immediately when they tried to do it, obviously the residents that live around Disneyland, I know how you feel about them, but they immediately complained and filed so many complaints you'd make your head spin. And then plus I
got a complaint for them. # eviction notice.
Oh gosh.
George has a eminent domain territory.
Yeah, eminent domain. Jeez Louise. I don't know. I don't know if do we have like kind of like a restricted airspace that's kind of over Disney? Because wouldn't this interfere? Or
well, I think so, but I think that's where I think for like the expansion of DCA, because where the Simba lot is, I think it was in the agreement that there would be no pyro like in the sky sort of thing, sure. But they can do silent drones, but they could also do pyro like ground level as long as it doesn't interfere with the sound barrier.
Okay. Then at this point, this would be another bonus for the Disneyland Resort getting something like this. Because, again, their competitor, Universal, has tried this and has failed because we were supposed to get some type of Yoshi-type drone show for FanFest nights, and it got canceled last minute. So if Disneyland can pull this off, it would be amazing.
Do you think Storybook Sorceress is saying, like, with like all the issues with Fantasmic, obviously they're going to have the new dragon and everything, so they're going to still keep Fantasmic, but could we possibly get a different rendition of Fantasmic? Because we haven't been getting no fireworks, no pyro for the show. Could they maybe replace it in drones?
It's more than possible. My only fear with that is because I'm sure these drones they cost a pretty penny, so probably an arm and half a leg to own, I'd be scared for these drones to be over water. I'm sure they're sophisticated enough to not have that issue, but there's always that fear. And my whole thing is having it over water. It's a little touchy. Being someone that's a content creator that loves technology and electronics and whatnot, having electronics for me close to water like that, especially when they project this type of amazing experience, that kind of scares me. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying in general.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I think in time we are going to get a drone show.
Sure.
Like, as you guys were saying, it's just a matter of where and when. But the fact that they're testing it and they're making it through plain eyes that we can see what they're doing, and obviously it's Disney that's doing it. They're not shy. They're not hiding it.
Yeah.
So I can definitely
Disney Springs test too. Like they're gonna do something with drones. I just think they're trying to figure out logistics and how they're gonna do it. Like I love the one with Sensational at Universal Studios. It really adds to that. That show's actually pretty cool with the drones.
I can't wait to see it because when I saw Sensational, it was just no, it was with the drones. That's right. I saw it with Slimer. That's right. I did see that. I actually like it with the drones, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. They'll probably do more testing. I have a feeling that if they're already testing it out in the public eye, I'm for sure we may get an official announcement maybe next year at D23
That'd be awesome.
for the parks panel. That's my take on it. Do you think it's for the new Story Living community in Palm Springs? I heard they would have entertainment there. They very well could. That would be kind of a letdown, though, that would be like, I mean, happy for them, but it's like, I want something at Disneyland, you know?
That would be funny if they're like, actually, it's just for these people. You guys can't.
And I could see Disney saying that, like, oh yeah, we're getting a drone show. It's going to the Story Living. You put out an arm and a leg just to live there, so we're giving you a free drone show.
Yeah.
Guess that's a perk of living there.
Yeah, I guess so.
True.
But yeah, I could definitely see that for sure. But I want to thank you guys for joining me today. This was a great live. It's always great having you guys on, having these in-depth conversations, and everybody in the chat, OG, Storybook Sorceress, Rudio, Brian, Peter, Remy D, everybody that joined today, Vegas Disney RTV, Jacob, what was it? Brand I'm trying to put the whole name together.
I think it's Bran. Oh, it moved on me. Bran the Legion Disney fan?
Disney fan.
Wait, no, that's not right.
You sure?
Maybe? Uni?
No. Bran the logo Universal Disney fan.
Oh, the Lego. Oh, gotcha.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. The link, good to know. Theme Park Wizard. Everybody, thank you so much for joining today. Jared, I'll start with you. Where could everyone find you on social media, sir? And thanks again for joining on the live.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's always a good time hanging out with you guys, talking about this stuff. You can find me at Cap the Magic. I just put a video out about the whole Universal tickets and annual passes, and probably people are disappointed because I'm like, it's not happening anytime soon. But you can catch me there. And if you want actual Disney World, Universal Studios theme park, tips in the parks, you can catch the Capture Magic podcast with my wife and I at CTM Podcast on YouTube also. But yeah, always good fun, always a good time. I can't talk. And thanks for having me on. It's always a blast.
Absolutely.
It's almost as much of a blast as a bidet. So you want to laugh?
No, I don't want to laugh. No, not entertaining you psychopath. No, absolutely not.
Okay. And speaking of which, Mr. Theme Park Conductor, always a good time having you on, good sir. If you want to let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Absolutely. And I want to shout out to our amazing host, George from Hollow Gelato, for providing this amazing live, even though Jared kind of went off the rails, in my opinion. But
I'm still on the rail. You don't even know how off the rails I can get, but
I've seen a taste, and it's not pretty. So, but you can find me on YouTube and Blue Sky at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on Instagram at theme_park_conductor. You can find me on X at Theme Conductor. You can find me on TikTok at Theme Park Conductor 1. And you can find me every Sunday at 5 or 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Conductor Sunday live stream off the rails. Shout out to Jared for that last part. I'm going to add that to future live streams. But where we talk everything from Universal, Disney, the Halloween season, up and coming Christmas season, rumors, speculation about the parks, movies, TV shows, this whole acquisition between Warner Brothers and these 5 independent companies that might want to acquire them one day. The sky's the limit. So we will see what happens. But this Sunday, just like tomorrow night I will be at Not Scary Farm with Tommy Toomwolf, so definitely expect some content. And Sunday I will be at Universal for Halloween Horror Nights with George, which I guess I introduced myself to be front row with George on Jurassic World because Wizard said I had to now, so I threw my name in the mix. So I guess I'm getting wet.
There you go. And you also get me tomorrow for Not Scary Farm as well there, Bub.
Oh, Lord. You in the dark, that scares me.
Yeah. It's like literally, it's almost like you say off the rails. It's like when you have constipation and you're grabbing the rails. It's like...
You suck.
Gotta be ready.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
All right, guys. Well, again, thank you all for joining this Holo Gelato Live. We greatly appreciate it. And until the next time, I'm George, the Disney Italiano. And as I always say in Disney Italiano fashion, stay safe, stay healthy, stay Disney. Italiano out.
See you guys.